Hey guys, Thogden here, and welcome back to another Game Week predictions. We're on to 31. There aren't many left. The Premier League is heating up at the top and the bottom of the table, and we've got a very special guest. We've got none other than Harry Redknapp Jr., the grandson from the man himself. How are you doing?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm excited to test your ball knowledge because I know you're a bit of a footballer yourself. Bournemouth Academy, currently on at Dorchester, aren't you?
Yeah, just gone on loan to get some men's football experience. Really enjoying it, so it's good.
And last week, Elkan, the Indonesian international, got 3 points. Thogden got a respectable 5 points. And Thogden got 8 points. The fight back is on. Scores are on the doors.
But I'll let you set the like target on this video.
Let's go for 5,400.
Harry Redknapp Jr.,
We need
5,400 likes. Let's crack on with these midweek games, shall we? Newcastle versus Everton. What a game the last time at St. James's Park. 4-3. I don't know if you watched that against West Ham, did you?
Yeah, of course.
Unbelievable. I thought West Ham had done that game 3-1. And then the way the Geordies came back, it was unbelievable. And with the late, I think Anthony Gordon got 3 assists and then sent off.
Yeah, I'm a West Ham fan.
Oh,
So
sorry, mate.
I know it was a bit of a nightmare for me.
But for West Ham, do you know what? We'll go to that score prediction later for their match. Scoring 3 goals is not so bad. Do you think Everton can do that?
I don't think so. I think Newcastle will become out winners in this game. I've got them for 2-0.
I think the storyline is going to be Jordan Pickford. He's going to get under these Geordies and really rile them up because he's a Mackham at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I just think because the Toffees need a result, they lost to Bournemouth away. I think a 1-1 draw.
Last week, it was all about Alexander Isak and Anthony Gordon and Harvey Barnes coming off the bench to score a couple. But the worry for Newcastle is injuries. And having said that, they're playing an Everton team that has lost 3 in a row. I think this was going to be a close game. Harvey Barnes to start, 2-1 to the Geordies.
Next up, it's Nottingham Forest against Fulham. Now, it's been 4 Premier League home games without a win at the City Ground. The 4-point deduction means that if they don't get a result here, it could be relegation looming. Now, a point actually got them out the relegation zone in their last match against Crystal Palace, but I'm sure the fans would have wanted more, wouldn't they, Harry?
Yeah, 100%. For me, I think at their home advantage, I think the fans will be right up for it. The players will be right up for it. And I've got them winning 2-1 for this game.
Seriously?
I think they've got it. And I think they've got the amount of quality players to do it as well. I really think they'll pull out of a 2-1 victory.
Well, it's now or never for them at this point because it feels like everyone's against them. You know, they've had tough games. They conceded late. It's disappointing for them. Even against Fulham, their recent form, they've lost the last 4 head-to-heads. So on paper, this is a White's win. And that's why I'm going to go different to you, Harry. And I'm going to say a Santiago Muñoz masterclass. He's going to get a goal and assist. And the away side are going to come away with all 3 points. 2-1.
Fulham, what a comeback against Sheffield United. Muniz scores again. And Fulham are looking really good. I predict another high-scoring draw. I'm going to go with 2-2.
Down to the South Coast. Now, this is your club. You've been there for so many years. Bournemouth playing their 4th home game in a row. Will it be another win for Andoni Iraola?
I mean, you look at the last month they've had. I think they've got the most points in the Premier League over the last month. Correct me if I'm wrong.
And a club record of 46 points ever. And you're already, if you win, you're on 41. I'm sure you've spoken to Andoni Iraola. What's he like as a manager?
I mean, I haven't had too much time around him as I've been away from the club. I've been on loan at QPR and things like this since he's been there. But from what I've heard, he's a great manager. He's very personal with the way he works. He loves to get his team pressing. And I think when you watch Bournemouth this season, you'll see that.
And you mentioned the stadium. What do you think is so hard about these big Premier League clubs that, you know, they may have much bigger wage budgets and transfer value, but they come to the stadium and they can't seem to figure it out?
I think it's the way you drive into the stadium. It's small. The car park's all really small. And then you get in there, get in the changing room. The away changing room's horrible. It's benches.
Seriously?
It's not good. And I think there's probably about 1,800 away fans.
Max.
That's low. Max. I think that they've got enough quality. I think they're on a great run. I've got them to win 3-1.
I'm going to go different here. 1-1 again, because Palace, new manager, Oliver Glasner, I think he's got 1 win, 2 draws, 1 loss. He did well to stop Forest, have their big story after the 4-point deduction to get a win there. Yeah, I think it'll still be a decent game. End to end, some close chances, but Solanke will score, and so will Eze.
Bournemouth against Crystal Palace is probably a dead rubber because neither of these teams are going down this season. Bournemouth to win 2-1.
Up to the northwest now, it's Burnley at home to Wolves. Now, if you asked me a few weeks ago, we'd be talking about Vincent Kompany nearly getting sacked and Wolves high flying, but over the last few weeks, I mean, let's talk about that Chelsea-Burnley game. For Chelsea to be leading and facing the away side with 10 men who are right down at the bottom of the table, to come back To draw 2-2, it shows real fight, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. I mean, you look at the game and you look at the season. Burnley have had really difficult season. Really put them in the fight, really, would you? And up until a couple of weeks ago, and they're in it. I mean, it's obviously it's a hard battle, but they're in it. And I think the game against Chelsea really showed that.
Do you know what? My prediction, I'm looking at the screen, and I don't really agree with what I've said. I mean, Fofana's back. Datro Fofana's back. He's been a goal scorer for them. This has to be the Burnley story. Do you know what I mean? Would you go as far as to say that they get 3 points here?
I do, 2-1.
Gary O'Neill needs to get a result. They had a great record against Villa. That's a bit of a rivalry, as we know. And to go there and lose 2-0, I don't think the players are going to accept another loss. On paper, Wolves still have a better team. Hwang Ki-chan could be back. Matheus Cunha will get his first 90. Low-scoring 1-0 away win.
That red card for Company, I hope that is rescinded. But they're up against a Wolves team. There's 1-1, lost 1, 1-1, lost 1. But I think that run will not continue because I can see a draw here. Burnley 1, Wolves 1.
West Ham against Tottenham. Someone will be battered everywhere they go. That will be the chant at full time. Which way, we don't know. I know you're a West Ham fan. You're going to be fired up watching this. You've just got to be hoping that Dorchester aren't playing the same day.
No, I know. Luckily, we're not. We played today. For me, I'm always going to be a little bit biased. But I think the way at the moment the West Ham are going, I think they need to bounce back from the game against Newcastle. I think the fans will always be right up for it. I think West Ham will come on top. I think I got a high scoring game, 3-2 West Ham.
I feel like with Ange, he's so unpredictable. You know, easy games, Luton at home in the calendar. That should be a 4-0, 5-0 win with the team that they've got. And then they don't. That's not the scoreline. You know, they're actually 1-0 down and they're scrapping and they're finding a way to try and get something. West Ham 1, Tottenham 3. I think they're going to find a way. I think Sonny might be a bit unstoppable.
We've talked about what happened to West Ham at St James's Park. Tottenham, meanwhile, left it very late. Heung-min Son got the winner against Luton, but that wasn't very convincing. I reckon this could be another high-scoring draw. I'm going to go for 2-2.
Arsenal, they are playing Luton Town. 2 north of the river clubs. Well, Luton, very north of the river. They wouldn't call it London, so I'm not going to call it a London rivalry, but they're travelling into London for this game in the Emirates Stadium. I genuinely believe that this is where Luton stop scoring that early goal and then they go on to lose. You know how they always score first? They always find a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's not my prediction. So
what? Is that what you're saying?
I've gone for an early goal for Luton again. I think they always start fast. I mean, I watched them against Bournemouth. I think first half they were unbelievable.
Yeah.
Obviously, second half Bournemouth came out and really dominated them. But I think it's going to be late. I think it's going to be a second half comeback, and I think Arsenal are going to win 3-1.
I like that prediction. It's just how they've been playing recently. You've got the nail on the head there. If you watch Luton, they find a way. But defensively, there's too many little moments where Arsenal, they will hit them. And right now, the Gunners, they'll kind of treat this as a training session for their big Bayern home fixture coming up. Back-to-back Emirates fixtures. The fans will be riled up. They'll have their head in the game. I'm going to go 3-0.
Now, Arsenal went to the City of Manchester Stadium and came away with a decent point. Not a classic of a game, but Arsenal were very tight defensively and stopped City scoring. And it's very rare that I say that. But they're playing a Luton team who went ahead against Spurs and only just lost to a late Son goal. Having said that, Arsenal, you think, will score 3 at home, 3 or 4 goals. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win.
The next match is Brentford against Brighton. It's probably the last owners' derby where you've got one side of the stick against the other. Benham looks like he's selling up, and then on the Brighton end, Tony Bloom, I recently met him. He had his new Netflix show coming out. I think it's with Amazon Prime, actually. Don't want to offend anyone there, but really good if you get the chance to watch it. Brentford have probably been the most unlucky team in the Premier League recently. I don't know if you caught that game against Man United. I think they deserve to win.
They're winless in 6 now. I think before that, we're winless in 5. But I do think Brighton will win.
Seriously. I mean, look, they look good against Liverpool. They made it very hard for the Reds to get 3 points. They may have had chances, but you can't say Brighton didn't either. I just feel like Thomas Frank has been way too unlucky. And you can even see when Brentford equalised against Man United, the last kick of the game from Ayer, he just thought, yeah, I deserve this. And he's probably just angry that it wasn't 3 points. Neil Maupay, what do you think about the way he acts in the Premier League?
He's there, so I suppose you can really do what you want. It brings a little bit of a difference to teams. He's one of them players, he winds people up, he gets people riled up. And you never know, Monday it might end up getting someone sent off.
You know, Maupay actually has a very good goal per minute ratio in the last few games, if you actually look at it. And I think he's going to score the winner here. Brentford 2, Brighton 1.
Like I said, I went for a 1-0 Brighton.
Brentford against Man United. 31 shots they had. They hit the woodwork, I think it was 4 times, but they only managed to scrape a draw. And they're playing a Brighton team who went ahead against Liverpool through Danny Welbeck. and look really dangerous on the counter-attack, but they were a whisker short. This one will be 1-1.
Manchester City against Aston Villa. Does Erling finally do it here? Tell me.
No.
No.
No, I can't see it. I just can't see it.
Do you defend Roy Keane's criticism after the last game?
I'll be honest, I didn't see it.
Mate, he called him a League 2 striker.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe I don't back that one up.
He called Erling Haaland a League 2 striker. I think the only pundit in the world who'd get away with that is Roy Keane.
Yeah,
because you just know whatever he says, he's saying it with a bit of aggression. He's had that spat with Erling's dad.
Oh.
There's something else to that, I would say.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at the game on Sunday, he didn't look very good in that. I think the two defenders, Saliba and Gabriel, defended very, very well.
Beasts, man of the match.
Yeah, unbelievable. You look at this weekend, without him being on top of his game, I don't think they've got that killer instinct in front of the goal. And I think you look at the Arsenal game when they're playing around the box, they're not really finding that final pass. I don't think De Bruyne was that good on the weekend either. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
I'm going to go City 3, Aston Villa 1.
City struggled against Arsenal. They just couldn't unpick that very tight defence. And they're up against an Aston Villa team who are absolutely rock solid in that Midlands derby against Wolves. Moussa Diaby, what a strike. I think this is going to be a close game. I think City will edge it 2-1.
Let's go to Liverpool now. They're playing Sheffield United at home. It's a very simple question. Top of the league versus bottom. How many goals is it going to be?
5. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to say 5.
There's no need to say anything, is there? Luis Diaz got scored again. I called that in the last game. Did brilliant to help them beat Brighton 2-1. Salah, clinical. Probably could have scored about 5 goals. And he was my captain at FPL. I was fuming watching that match.
I think when you look at Luton and you look at Sheffield United, like Luton, for example, have put themselves in great positions, but they haven't got that defensive experience to keep them in the game. And Sheffield United, obviously, the same against Fulham.
Well, for the first time in this video, mate, I'm going to also agree with you. I've got 5-0 written down. I'm going to stick by it. I think you and me could be getting a 4-pointer.
Sheffield United at home is an absolute must-win game. It's a game where you can score 3, 4 or 5 goals. And the problem with Sheffield United had a horrible season. And suddenly you're 3-1 up against Fulham and you bottle it. And in this division, you cannot go 2 goals ahead and not win. So this is the last team that they want to play at the moment. It's going to be an easy win for Liverpool. 3-0.
The final match, it's Chelsea against Manchester United. Two sides who really need the 3 points if they want to finish the league wherever they had in mind in terms of ambition at the start of the season. For the Blues, it was points dropped against Burnley. We spoke about how good the Claret and Blue side did, but my God, when you're leading, Cole Palmer scored 2 goals. You've got to hold that game out. You've got a man extra.
I've watched Chelsea quite a few times this season. My little brother's a Chelsea fan. I don't know there's something missing. I think Poch said it in an interview as well. There's something missing about it. I don't know whether it's the players thinking they're a little bit better than they are and they don't train as hard or whatnot.
They've spent the transfer costs of a team that should be top of the league.
I mean, you look at some of the players. I think they've got a great academy and they've got great players coming through.
And it's a shame that they actually don't get as much game time as they probably deserve, because they're the ones who've been working in the academy. And then you go and buy a young player with a lot of talent. Sometimes you need experience.
I think maybe they're looking towards the future instead of looking at right now. I think you look at the future and in the next couple of years, they're going to have great players coming through. But
they will,
at the same time, you look at the last 2 seasons, it's been really poor. I know they've got Thiago Silva, but then they're missing that leader.
Manchester United, they've been decent under Ten Hag. They get results. I was at the opposite leg to this, at Old Trafford. Man United beat them, and they took their moments. Garnacho caused massive issues for the Blues. They'll be thinking to themselves, yeah, we can win this.
Mason Mount, I think he comes on and he scores.
You've said he's coming off the bench to score. I think he'll start. I think he'll score the first goal of the game, and Manchester United will be 2-1 up in the second half, and Chelsea in the last 10 minutes push forward, and I think Nico Jackson makes it 2-2 full time.
I've got the exact same scoreline, 2-2.
Chelsea got a 2-2 draw at home to Burnley. That's not good enough. And they're playing a Man United team who nearly did a smash and grab at the Brentford Community Stadium. This is going to be a 1-1 draw.
Well, mate, Harry, it's been a pleasure to have you on the channel. First of many. All the best to you at Dorchester this season. We're watching out now, and to the future at Bournemouth as well. 5,400 likes was the like target set from Junior himself. Have a great week. All the best. And yeah, enjoy the Premier League football.